Hey there, community. Eric Bramlett here, and talking about some lamentations with Jeremiah and him sharing his experience with this cycle and what we can learn from him as we try to pursue the cycle that starts over every morning. And one of the things I was looking up some of the commentaries for these verses because I'm not really all that bright, and so if I'm going to be asked to do something like this, I want to do a little bit of research. So I looked some things up, and one of the things I noticed is one of the theologians or commentators talked about these sequences as being, there's one section here where the prophet complains, and then there's another section a little bit later, and it just struck me that, we don't often think about complaining as being something that a prophet does or something that is a good thing to do. But as we've been learning through starting over and through this series, it's really important to recognize our regrets and to be able to name them and be able to talk about that. And you know what? That may seem like complaining, and that may not be a bad thing as long as we don't get stuck in that cycle and going right around into longing and right around into more regrets. And so these verses really kind of lay out what it looks like to move from that recognizing to releasing and to allowing God to redeem those regrets. And one of the things that I think is really important about that is that you can't let God redeem your regrets if you're holding them in your fist. You need to release them. You need to let them go. And that's certainly what the prophet is doing here when he's reminding us that God's faithfulness is worth waiting for. And so we're not always sure what the redeeming is going to look like for each of us, but Jeremiah encourages us to wait on the Lord, because every morning his compassions are new every morning, and they never fail. And so that's worth waiting for. The other thing that struck me is what do we do while we're waiting? And I think that choosing to worship. There was a song that we sang this past weekend that declared, I choose to worship. I choose to worship you. That's an active thing we can do even as we're waiting. And that certainly plays out here as Jeremiah sings and speaks God's praises. And hopefully that'll be an encouragement to you that you can take advantage of that opportunity and celebrate who God is, even if the redeeming hasn't quite played out yet, or you can't see it. It's worth the wait. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you soon.